They're gonna land the Starship next. Should we watch that?
I'm not seeing any green though. We were seeing bursts of green in the last one earlier on, and I'm not seeing that this time.
Yeah, and we just heard that max heating has occurred, that as the vehicle is passing through max Q.
Oh, look, there's another flap area there. Couple of angles, 3 angles there. Don't see any burn through anywhere.
It almost looks like a mirror image.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot, huh? What do you think the temperature is?
Fascinating.
Peak heating.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't lose really any frame rates during peak heating is, again, another testament to something else SpaceX is trying to exemplify, which is the stalwartness of the Starlink system that they've got on board this Starship flight.
Kami, 300,000?
Now 55 kilometers in altitude, speed about to pass below 15,000 kilometers per hour. T plus 58 minutes, 14 seconds and counting into this mission on the SpaceX feed. T plus 58 minutes,
Kelvin?
29 seconds.
Oh,
There's kind of a bright spot there on the flap in front of us. Hopefully it'll hold through okay. I mean, it's going to be quite normal for things to heat up to glowing temperatures, so hopefully we don't see a burn through. It's looking a little bit burn through there though. I think that forward flap might be going.
The one at the top of the screen?
Yeah, that's definitely burned through, I think.
There does seem to be a little bit of heat coming through the middle of that flap. See those 2 pockets of orange glow?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Fuck.
Oh, yep.
That's definitely not what they wanted there. But I mean, it's holding together better. But there's going to need to be work done there. Obviously, it's a hard part of the vehicle because you're trying to have all the actuators doing their thing whilst having it fully shielded.
That thing's coming apart.
See the back, the aft flaps don't seem to be suffering the same thing. So the forward flaps must be.
That shit is coming off.
Tricky. And this is why they've moved them, right?
So coming off right now.
The Block 2 Starship, those flaps have moved. So this probably is a problem that's already fixed in a future vehicle, right? So I think they kind of expect this. They've probably beefed this up, obviously, because it's doing better. But there's certainly room for improvement there.
Marcus, key in on that point. How different are the forward flaps on the version 2 Starship than what we're seeing fly right now?
Well, they're actually moved more towards the rearward side of the vehicle, so they're not quite in harm's way exactly where they are right now. So if you sort of imagine, they just shift more towards the silver side of the vehicle, the unshielded side of the vehicle. So that's going to help, and they're also just designed slightly differently. They've got a slight different profile on them, so hopefully that'll help. I mean, they're holding up a lot better. We're down under 8,000 kilometers per hour at this point, down under 40 kilometers in altitude. So, they are starting to toast right up there right now, though. Aft flaps looking great. And the heat shield in general is looking pretty good.
Vehicles pass through maximum entry dynamic pressure now with just about 7,000 kilometers to go, a little more than an hour into flight. And as we've been talking, we're seeing some noticeable, even more so, burn through of that forward flap. But hopefully, as we're thinking possibly the body of the vehicle as well, though we're watching to see any additional signs for that.
Oh shit.
shit, the video's...
Yeah, I mean, some burned through there, but I mean, the last ones, the fins were basically hanging off at this point, so a certain improvement. And hopefully the actuators and all the mechanisms inside that flap are still working. I'm assuming that the other flap was probably in a similar condition. They'd be fairly uniform. We wasn't seeing the other flap, so...
Yeah, but you have to imagine that that's more than likely the case.
I'd say so. The forces would be pretty uniform over the whole thing. It'd be interesting to see what the camera views look like at this point.
Peep the technique.
And I imagine, even though there was burn through, nothing was hanging off, the aerodynamics should have been holding up pretty good. The shielding on it seemed pretty good right through from the other angles.
Yeah.
It's obviously dark on this side of the world. This is closer to me coming in here now. For me, it's like 12:30 past midnight, so quite dark on this side of the planet as it comes in close to Western Australia.
Yeah, just given the trajectory and where it's set to splash down, would it be bright enough if you were on the actual coastline of Western Australia to be able to see any of this, or is it just too far off for...
It's still a long way out, yeah. Still a long way out. I have to sort of see how far out from the coastline it is, but yeah, maybe you'd be able to see a little sign of it from high up.
23, 22.
There's the flap. There's an aft flap there.
21.
Yeah. It's just dark, I think.
Yeah.
20.
Vehicle's now subsonic. Now 1 hour, 3 minutes, 11 seconds to flight. We're coming up on the landing flip in the next 2 minutes.
It's amazing how slowly 17. It drops at this point. Like it's really almost floating in the atmosphere, gently down when 16. You sort of really look at that. Look at the speed drop.
15.
Like it's just almost hanging there. It's barely dropping at all.
14.
It's performing the belly flop maneuver.
Yep, coming 13. Down horizontally.
Standing by for the flip and then the landing burn.
Yeah,
12.
You'll actually see the speed just almost stop there.
11.
Almost stop in its descent. So you can see why it needs such little fuel to land, because it comes right down to 500 kilometers per hour compared to the booster, which comes down much, much faster.
9 kilometers.
500 kph right there.
8 kilometers.
Oh, geez, I want to see an engine camera.
7.
We're just listening into SpaceX commentator just here for an update.
Saw the high altitude campaign. That's the unique thing about how Starship comes back. So we've bled off pretty much all of the speed we're going to. We're essentially at terminal velocity.
Starship remains on target at this point for SpaceX commentator on the loop.
4.
5 to go.
Yeah,
coming up
I
soon.
imagine they're much more precise in the...
Are we going to see the
control? Looks really nice.
Cruising into the landing flip and the landing burn here in the next several seconds.
2.
The shuttle happened very quickly.
It's dark out, huh?
Of this.
1 kilometer.
Approaching landing burn startup.
And here we go.
When the Raptor engines ignite.
I think that altitude readout needs some work. It sort of hits 0 well before when it starts burning. Look at that.
That's a nice reflection of the engine burn. And it looks like a correct orientation for a splashdown.
Beautiful.
That's water.
Oh my gosh, it's still got camera feed. It's... Wow. Oh, what have they got there? It just blew up. They've got a camera. They've got a boat out there.
Oh!
Oh, wow.
Or a buoy or something. Wow. I want to see that. I want to see the camera from that.
I have to imagine that's a buoy. That they
it must be, yeah.
Crewed boat that close to splashdown.
Oh, I thought there might have been an autonomous type vehicle out there of some sort.
But if you just think about as Stephen was saying in my ear, the fact that they had an aquatic asset that close to where it's splashing down, and it's making its approach to it now, that tells you another point of data about just the sheer amount of accuracy that SpaceX has with this whole operation.
Yeah. I mean, that was exactly on target. They wouldn't be there otherwise. How about that? She's just broken in half. Look.
Sheesh.
And the fact that
Look, you can see the downcomer hanging out.
Wow.
So that's the pipeline feeding from the methane tank normally down into the aft section. So the aft section of the ship's just floating there, unless it's upside down and I'm looking at it the wrong way.
Well, you have to wonder now if this is in a position where they might be able to salvage any of the ship,
It blew
given
up.
that they've got eyes on it. So
you never know.
It blew up, right?
Geez, this has been quite the day. Apart from a little bit of burn through that they'll obviously improve with the already modified ship, this has just been a perfect mission.
Well, and just to note, as we're looking back at the orbital launch map, you've still got the super heavy booster suspended as intended. So
yeah,
it's just been, I think, nothing short of a spectacular success of a day for SpaceX. And of course,
Okay, yeah, cool stuff. My cat is just assaulting me through the hole in my chair. She thinks it's funny. You know, it's funny Haitians eating you for dinner. That's funny.